The Galactic Legends have been released, and wow, there's some crazy kits, a lot of information, and a heck of a lot of Zetas required. My name is Hynesy. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're brand new to this channel, please smash that red button. It helps us grow this really awesome channel. Now, I am joined by the absolute modding legend himself. Mikayas has joined us today. Welcome, Mikayas. Thanks for stopping by, dude.
Hey, Hynesy, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
No, it's great. It's been a while since we've done something together, but congratulations. Obviously, you've been busy with the bar exam, of course, lately. So congratulations with getting through all of that.
Thank you. It's good to be able to focus more on something that isn't that, because that's pretty much all I did for a couple months. So I'm happy to have some more free time.
Fantastic, mate. Well, I'll tell you what, you're going to have a lot on your plate, my friend. Absolutely. We've obviously got some new information, some new characters, which we knew. We finally got the kits, obviously. That's something that we've been waiting for, well, almost 3 months or so now. So now they're released, we can sort of just sift through them a bit, get a little bit of information, not get too much in depth. Sort of keep it pretty, a basic sort of understanding on what to expect. So it should be a lot of fun, but I'm really looking forward to this. It'd be great.
Yeah, it should be good. Let's dig in there.
Fantastic. Let's get after it. So obviously, I just want to get your initial thoughts, Mikayas, if you don't mind. Now, we are, of course, aware of the massive amount of resources involved with even participating in this event to have the chance to unlock these characters. Now, some of the things that, of course, are quite surprising to me are farming the vets again. I know there's a few people not wrapped about that, and also Resistance Pilot. Rose Tico. We'll move on from that one pretty quick. But the overall getting to this point, have you been happy with this, or what's your take? Because I've never actually asked you up until now.
Well, my take, I think everyone who has a take on this, which is gonna be everyone, is gonna be biased one way or another. And I think I have to acknowledge that I'm a little biased because I'm a predominantly free-to-play player. And I fall into this little niche of competitive free-to-play that, struggles to get through every meta, finds the counter meta, and is always getting top in arenas through whatever means they gotta do. And it was always the case that you could sort of follow the meta, anticipate, and dedicate resources to what you needed to get the next big thing, right? Like farm your Old Republic as soon as they start being farmable, and then you get them ready for Malik, and et cetera, et cetera. But this is just a new height. Getting 12 characters to high relic levels is just, it's probably triple to 5 times the resources ever required for anything else. And it dictates what you can do. If you're a free-to-play player, it dictates what you can do for 3 to 6 months, probably.
Yeah.
Just to unlock one of them.
And that's right. And even then, obviously, it might even take longer, depending on, obviously, for instance, how good your guild is in capability and what rewards you can achieve in raids to get that extra gear. So there's a lot of variables there as far as a time frame. There's no set time frame for, well, pay to play or free to play, really, on how long it will take to unlock these guys, unless basically you rip your wallet out.
And I think my biggest qualm with it is that it says you can't play the game how you want for 3 to 6 months, or you can pay a lot of money and then you won't have to make that sacrifice. And I get it, it's a business, so they got to do what they got to do. I just feel like it's a little steep. The time that you have to sacrifice at this point to get the next meta is just a little steep.
I agree. Do you think, as a community, do you think that quite often we get obviously a lot asked of us in regard to obviously what's required for a lot of these events generally? I know that there's a lot of people don't care. They just go, look, I'm not going to bother. I'll just get it whenever. There's a lot of people that are obviously a little bit annoyed, frustrated, along the way in regard to how all of this has played out for two characters. Do you see the frustration in the community on your side? I mean, that's what I'm seeing from my side of the fence. Have you got an idea on what feedback is going on out there on what you see?
So I know players in both camps. I think there are a lot of players, like you mentioned, who just do their own thing and they have fun playing the game how they want to play it. They don't get caught up in all of these chasing the next meta situations. And I envy those people because they have the best time with this game, I think. And then you have the other camp of folks who are, your arena junkies, your GAC junkies, and they just are overwhelmed by the thought that there will be this unstoppable wall that they can't get through in terms of these like new Galactic Legends. If you go into every Grand Arena and someone has a Galactic Legend and you don't, and that means you automatically lose, that's just not going to be fun. And if you automatically need a Galactic Legend to make your spot in an arena, that means every day something you're used to is taken away from you. Yeah. And so I think those ideas are what has some people really frustrated in this situation. But it is what it is.
It is.
Got to adapt.
But we saw that not long ago, obviously, when gas came out as well, of course. I mean, everyone thought gas is just going to rip everything apart. If you haven't got gas, you're not going to be able to climb arena. Things like that. The good thing is that there's so many smart people out there that obviously know how to find a workaround, find a counter, find one way to break these down. And do you believe that that would be a viable option or something that could be found in these kits? I mean, they're pretty. Oh, they're pretty nuclear. I mean, they really are. That's really the best word I've found for it so far. So do you think that they might find a counter in something conventional that we're using at the moment? Or if you've got them, great. If you haven't got them, tough luck.
My honest belief after reading through these kits, without being able to test it further or knowing if CG is going to tweak it a little bit and maybe nerf some of it, I doubt they'll do that. If anything, they'll make it stronger with their pattern of behavior. But I think that Kylo Ren will be beatable, and I think that Rey is going to be an unstoppable monster.
Well, there you go.
I think above and beyond, she's the better of the two. And what the thing is with Skywalker and Malik before that, and Darth Revan before that, and Revan before that, and Shreya before that, and CLS before that, you have all these metas. And there were always creative ways you could use other mechanics in the game to take these things out. You could use Darth Nihilus' Annihilate. You could use turn meter manipulation. You could use stuns. You could use staggers. You could use dazes. There are all these things that all these mechanics in the game and these debuffs that you can use to make less strong teams counter the meta, the strongest thing out there. But what they did with this Rey kit is they just wrote immunity in to literally everything.
Yeah. Basically, there's no easy.
Just everything.
Yeah,
everything.
There's no mechanism or mechanic out there that you can go, okay, if we can somehow, manipulate this mechanic, you'll be able to work a way around to be able to defeat this character. It's just not there. It's just a brick wall.
Yeah, if you think about it from a theory crafting perspective, how do I kill this obscenely overpowered thing? One of the first ideas everyone always has is, how do I get to Annihilate?
Yeah.
Right? How can I get Nihilus to Annihilate?
Yep.
This crazy OP character.
Yep.
And they literally took that away from you.
Yeah, they did. Kit. Yep. They said if you got Annihilate, you got Nihilus, tough luck. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
It ain't going to work. Keep it on the shelf. It's no use to you here. It's crazy. Look, let's get into the kit. Let's have a quick look. Let's just glance over it quickly now. Man, let's start. 120 Zeta mats per character. It's man.
No, I don't find that to be obscene.
Really?
I don't. I really don't, and here's why. This is designed for endgame players. Mm-hmm. All of the new players who want to instantly whale out and immediately for their first overpowered team get like the best one out. I just think this kind of stuff, it's not intended for that. And so, I mean, props to the young whales who can just immediately get Skywalker, or now immediately go for everything you need to get this galactic legend. But it's not made for that. And for longtime players, you have all of the core Zetas, right? Like I have 5 Zeta. I'm sitting on 5 Zetas. I've been playing for about 2.5 years, and I have 5 Zetas saved up because I literally don't have any other Zeta I want to put on anyone.
Yeah, yeah, you've banked
There's
them.
no other Zeta I want to put on
Yeah,
anyone.
you've hoarded them.
I've
That,
hoarded them begrudgingly, where I'm foregoing other Zetas I want. I mean, I literally don't have another Zeta I want to put down, and
yeah.
I know a lot of other people in that situation, and so I don't think it matters that much. And with the new assault battles, the Zetas are flowing in more. They just had a pack where you can buy Zetas if that's your thing. So I just don't think the Zeta crunch is as big of a deal right now,
Yeah.
and I don't mind that price.
No, fair enough. No, and that's the beauty of it. I'd love your opinion on it. It's great. Again, there's a lot of people that go, "Wow, that's a lot of Zetas you need for it to be effective." So again, there's certainly all different looks at it. Let's get into the abilities just really quickly. So obviously we've got the let's start with the Rey kit, of course, my friend. Let's get after that. So obviously we've got Relentless Pursuit. There's obviously Lifeblood as well. Sudden Whirlwind, which looks really cool. That looks pretty brutal. Those three just to start with. Now, my question, if I can ask, if you had to, again, for a lot of people that don't have a lot of Zetas kicking around and they're going to unlock this character and obviously they won't have them available, do you know which ones that you would probably prioritize out of those first three, the Relentless, the Lifeblood, and the Sudden Whirlwind, just to give us an idea?
I don't, only because I'm not sure which part of it is the Zeta. Like I'm seeing the ability for the final text on the kit reveal,
Yeah.
but you know how it normally breaks down what you get at each ability level. I'm just not sure which part of this ability is the actual Zeta part
Yeah,
that's
the actual
added.
Zeta ability. Yeah, I guess obviously at some point we'll need to have a look at that. The leader ability, of course, under that Wisdom of the Sacred Test, that's certainly going to be something that you're going to want. You're going to throw this character in the leader slot. It's as simple as that. And certainly with the mastery and the speed boost, things like that, obviously it makes a lot of sense to certainly probably focus on that as a priority. I see that as probably the biggest priority to start with. But again, your thoughts, any ideas on what you think from that side of things?
Well, I think that her leadership is definitely going to be strong, but I'm not even gaining damage immunity for one turn when you fall below 50% health that can't be copied, dispelled, prevented, and then recovering 50% health when that expires. That is pretty tempting to use, in addition to the other bonus stats you get, which are probably pretty insane. I imagine it will be the case that she will be best in the leader slot
Yeah.
for any light side team you assemble. However, I wouldn't say there won't be niche uses where you can use other leaders that are also really good. Like if you use Skywalker as a leader, he can be this sort of tank for you that you have to hit until you knock something down, or I mean until you knock him down, right? So there are these little tricks I can see being useful, but or the protection up from a Bastilla lead. They're just I can imagine she'd still be really strong in some creative ways, not in the leader slot
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I see that, yeah. Out of the two characters, certainly I see Rey by far as what I would call the better plug-and-play option across the board. Obviously, we know Kylo is certainly dependent, I believe, more on having First Order in that team. But yeah, with all the other, obviously, functions that Rey has and the survivability that she's going to have, I think that's certainly why she should certainly be a priority over Kylo if you're starting from scratch, certainly.
Yeah, I think so too. And just another note on Sudden Whirlwind. To be clear, that's like that attack is essentially they changed it. They added a note that said she needs to be dropped below 60% health in order to use this ability for the first time. So you can't just make her go first and then immediately pop someone. You have to drop someone below 60% health. But I think in the same way you use paper zombie and things like that, you can just put some trash character in that'll drop below 60% health as soon as the other team does anything, and then have Ray immediately, smash someone.
Yeah,
I mean, I could actually see someone staggering the health and protection of 4 other characters so that they die incrementally, and then you have sort of like a Grievous situation
yep.
when he's like eating his characters, and as they die, Ray will just triple sudden whirlwind over and over and over.
Yeah, and just
And
just
that yeah, and that attack is equal. It's equivalent to. It says it deals massive damage, which is 99,999 damage unmitigated.
Yeah.
Right. So basically 100k damage, but 3 times. So it deals 300,000 damage to a character, a single target that can't be countered or evaded.
Yeah, it's
like
a done
what
deal.
I mean that's insane. Like IPD used to be insane because it could sacrifice itself completely to do 100,000 damage. Now you have this character that can do 3 times that,
yeah,
and sacrifices nothing to do so.
It's just mad, isn't it? It really is, and this is just some of the kit that is just crazy, but. It's just really, really interesting how that's going to play out. And I think that adds to that plug and play aspect that, yeah, she's not just for survivability. When she gets up and running, she's just going to rip teams apart. No doubt. It's just going to be really interesting to see what people come up with, plug and play style and theory crafting. It's a theory crafter's dream, this particular character for sure.
I agree. I think there are a million cool things you're going to be able to do. That's the one thing I'm really positive about these characters, especially Ray, is I think people are going to come up with just a million and one creative ideas to mix and match.
Yep.
The fact that they made it all light side synergy is just phenomenal, because one of my biggest complaints in this game in recent times has been sort of forcibly constraining characters into their factions, like writing it into their kits, like
Yep.
only works if they're all Galactic Republic, and like those things are so frustrating for a theory crafter.
Yeah, because they just limit your options on what you can and can't use with it off the bat. You'll just be able to chuck Ray in, let's just chuck it in this and see how this works and try a few different things for sure, which, again, a lot of people have been missing that freedom and versatility to do that.
Yeah, this is just unlimited power for the theory crafters out there.
It is. It certainly
You're
is.
going to see some cool stuff.
Surprising she didn't get the Jedi tag, or does it just make perfect sense because she'd just be nuts with Revan, etc.?
I am surprised in terms of thematically. It would have obviously made sense if she has all the Jedi in her. I don't know how she's not one, but maybe they don't care about that. Maybe they're hedging their bets, and just in case this game lasts another few years, they want another one.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we'll give you the Jedi one now, but it's going to cost you 50 characters, Relic 14, and it's going to have 23 Zetas on it.
Don't give him ideas, Mikayas. Don't give him ideas, man. You're not helping. You're not helping at all, man. Don't give him the ideas of that. It never ends well, dude. It never does.
I know, but I see things like that down the line.
Oh, and, well, again, they probably do as well. That's the point. So, no, I highly recommend it. But yeah, dude, let's just keep that on the down low, all right? Let's just keep that down. Let's not go there. Hey, just I'm surprised she didn't get the Jedi tag as well, to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, it just makes sense. I understand that people have said, I've heard in the community as well, she's light side, so she doesn't need the Jedi tag. She's got the everything tag, which probably makes sense. The synergy, of course, with Inspired makes perfect sense. I really like that in her kit. Obviously, with a Resistance hero, Finn and Poe, it fits. That certainly works really well. Kenobi was the interesting one, obviously put on the end as a synergy suggestion that you can see on the screen at the moment. Now, do you think that that's certainly something that people will use, or would that be even what they call these days as, a placeholder for something else down the track?
Here's the thing. This isn't going to be like Skywalker or like the Sith Empire team, because they didn't pigeonhole anything to a faction. Like, they can want this to work with Resistance all they want, but I don't think it's going to be used with Resistance. I think people are going to put Rey with things like Skywalker,
Yeah.
Revan, Hermit Yoda, Wat Tambor, like Jedi Knight Anakin, and they're just going to make these monster combinations with all of these overpowered characters, and you're gonna see these just unbeatable monstrosities
Yeah.
of similar to the Titan era, where
Yeah.
you used to back in the day, you used to put just like Rex lead with CLS and Thrawn and R2D2 and Nihilus and all these things, and just these OP standalone characters were just put into this crew together, and you'd have a great team.
Yeah.
I think people are going to do the same thing with Rey and just pay no mind to that resistance tag.
They're just going to make just Frankenstein teams. Simple as that. Just absolutely mental Frankenstein teams.
I that's what I believe in. I think that's great personally. I think that's really, really exciting and cool, but gonna be wild
It
out
will,
there.
man. We'll have to wait and see. Let's quickly get over to Kylo now. We've touched on Rey enough there. Let's get over to Kylo now. This guy's a damage dealer extraordinaire, man. He's going to be tough to take down. He's certainly going to be gettable, as we discussed, certainly, but he brings a lot of damage to the party. But I see him straight away, certainly just as a... I think that he's only going to be used with First Order, whereas Rey's certainly going to be more versatile, in my opinion. But what do you think about that, to give me an idea?
So I'm not sure. I think he has less versatility than Rey. I would agree for sure, but I do think he's usable in other teams. I think people are probably going to try and stick him into a Darth Revan team.
Oh, wow.
Just because if you look at Darth Revan teams, you have the core like three of Darth Revan, Bastila, Malik, and add this Kylo and Wat Tambor and see what happens.
Wow.
Like it's gonna be some insane stuff. Like give him weapon tech. Right? Like
I didn't even think
what's
of that.
gonna do?
Give him the weapon mod. Yes, of course. Oh.
Yeah, give him. You know what? Give him the weapon tech and put Hermit Yoda in the team and just give him that buff too. The Grandmaster's training. Like you can do that, right? It's not limited to light side. So these things are going to be crazy.
It is. It's really cool. Again, I never even thought of Wat Tambor until you mentioned it. And I thought, oh, crap. Straight away, it's the first thing I thought. It's crazy. It really is. Again, yeah, really, really cool. These ones obviously have the cooldowns built into them in comparison to Rey that has 0 cooldowns. Again, the Furious Onslaught one, the Siphon mechanic is really interesting. Of course, the advantages there in the first few abilities as well, which advantage is obviously such a big component of First Order teams generally. But the interesting ones, of course, for me is obviously the Supreme Leader ability, of course, the leader ability with, of course, the mastery and the crit damage, but the way that obviously it's going to make tanks and attackers and everything just really sing, I find that really, really interesting.
Yeah, my biggest thing is I'm wondering just how powerful all these stat steroids he comes with are going to be. Because I think the Kylo kit isn't as fancy as the Rey kit, and there's not as many technical things going on, but the stat boosts in here could just get insane, where you just have this unbeatable monster, right?
Yeah.
Just with all the siphoning, all the mastery stats, the bonus mastery stats, the bonus critical damage, all these bonus stats. I feel like that's what's going to make this Kylo shine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're talking about, I mean, to give people an idea, just say in automotive speak, you'd be looking at Rey being something along the lines of, say, like a Ferrari or something like that. You're talking at Kylo, he's just like a monster. He's like a demon. He really is. It's just he's an absolute monster. It's just the damage output is going to be great. It really is. And again, plug and play wise, certainly be really handy. But I tell you what, I'd love to be chucking him in with the First Order guys as well, just to really get him up and singing. I think I will see a bit more of that than not, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I think people will have all of these First Order teams relicked up, and they're gonna want to make them useful. They're gonna want to use them, and this guy's gonna be able to do it. Um, I absolutely agree with you there.
No, spot on. But the last one, of course, the ultimates. Depths of Rage is really insane. I'm liking the thought of obviously holding off triggering it as long as possible. You know, that balance is going to be really interesting when you do use him, to make sure that you basically pull the trigger on him at exactly the right time to get as much output as you can out of him. So again, it's going to be really interesting to see how he fits in, and again, how it all works plug and play wise. I think that'll be a really, really cool ability to muck around with.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, if you get to that ultimate charge and you get aggressive stance for 3 turns, then you're going to be immune to all damage and all detrimental effects, and you can't be defeated.
No.
Your siphon is doubled, so you're stealing double all the stats while you're going for 3 turns, and your abilities have no cooldowns, which means you can use that special dispel all buffs on all enemies and stun target for 2 turns, which can't be copied. The stasis strike, his first special, can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. Right? So, and the attack can't be evaded. You can permanently stun someone for 3 turns. Cubs fan Han does his 1v1 tournaments, which are always exciting.
Yes.
And it used to be the joke that, well, you'll never beat Malik. Well, I don't know. I feel like maybe Kylo is going to destroy Malik completely.
He'll replace Malik.
You know?
Malik will sit on the bench and nurse his wounds, because Kylo on his own, it's just going to be super dominant. He really is.
Yeah, I just I'm excited to see these characters do a bunch of cool things, and I'm excited for all the content creators to mix and match and see what they do in their respective factions and outside of them.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just think it's I'm extremely, the one thing I've said this already, but the one thing I'm extremely thankful for is them keeping it open to dark side generally and light side generally. And they said they're going to do more of these. They're going to be putting out more Galactic Legends in the future, and I hope they stick to that principle.
Yeah. Don't pigeonhole it down to individual factions. Keep it open. It just helps with the theory crafting and throwing ideas around, which gives us something to really sink our teeth into instead of just continuously farm grinding characters. If we can muck around with them and make some cool concepts, it's certainly got to be better than just, okay, you're just going to use it with that team and that's it.
Absolutely.
Spot on. Now, the last thing, man, we'll wind this up in a second. My last question, of course, you're the man. Mikayas Modding Mayhem, we know that. 0127, go see the man. He will help you. He helped me with a solo gas team today, ripped some teams apart. He knows his stuff. Man, let's talk basic modding for these two guys, man. Let's give some guys some ideas on what they should be looking at doing now. Ray's modding concepts, obviously they've thrown some ideas out there already, but I'd love to hear what your insight is and what you think will work really well with Ray as a modding profile.
I think what they suggested were health and offense, and I can see how that would work because she's healing her team based off of her max health, and she's going to be doing some insane damage probably because her base stats, it specifically says their base stats are going to be extremely high. So if you manipulate already extremely high offense with some more offense percentage mods, you're going to get some insane damage numbers, like, for sure. So I would think, that could be the case. Then again, specifically because CG suggested those 2 sets, has me hesitant because typically they don't know what the best mods are. So I don't know. Maybe they wisened up and they started thinking a little harder, or we're gonna find out that you should have a speedy tanky Ray, and who knows. And I think these questions, they're fun to speculate about, but it is just so difficult to know before you see it in the field and see what they're doing.
Absolutely. And that's a nice little kick in the tail to CG on the way through, bud. Loved it. Absolutely brilliant. Nice work there, man. A quick one on obviously Kylo's modding profile. Obviously, there's a push there for the damage output, critical damage as well, things like that. I'm expecting something along those lines with a basic modding idea for him as well.
I would think that, yeah, focusing just on damage output, crit damage, offense, that's gonna make him more of a monster. But then again, you have to consider, you look at a character like Skywalker. He's a damage monster, but what I think the best way to mod him is right now is for protection. So, or predominantly for protection with some crit damage and offense, because then it takes longer to take him down. And so he's able to dish out a bunch of damage through counters, and it takes you longer to get him to kneel down and all this stuff. It could be similar with a character like Kylo. He's this damage monster, but what if that damage monster was also a massive tank? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what if his base damage is so high already and all this other stuff and he's going to be siphoning and that you don't need it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it could also, one other thought is, they could also both come out like Darth Revan, and you just want speed on speed on speed because their base stats are so naturally good and their kits are so obscene. You just want them taking as many turns as they can. And so there are a lot of different ways this could go. I think we'll just have to wait and see.
I can see you licking your lips from here right now, bud, down under. Honestly, you just can't wait to rip in and just have a bit of a play with these guys and work out what the best formula will be. And I've got no doubt you're going to be able to do that, man. It's going to be a lot of fun for you.
I'm gonna have a lot of fun, provided that my friends are open to me playing on their accounts.
but you're not allowed to do that because it's against the terms of service. We've talked about that, man.
Which again totally exists to protect CG from liability. But, yeah.
And with that said, go see Mikayas Modding Mayhem 0127. He'll sort you out straight up. It's crazy, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. It really has. Thanks for taking some time out and joining us, man, and having a quick chat about these two new characters. They're going to be pretty awesome. We know that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can come up with on the modding front pretty soon, man. And guys, yeah, go see Mikayas and he'll look after you. He certainly helps me out, and I'm grateful for that. So, dude, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me. Had a great time.
Sounds great. and we'll be looking at trying to do a video pretty soon together, man. We're going to have some fun and some bits and pieces. Plenty more content coming in from you. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. We're going to wind this up, guys. It's been an absolute honor. Thank you so much for stopping by. Again, please smash that red button. It's super important. It just helps us grow this channel. It really does. My name's Hynesy. We'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys. Thanks again. Bye-bye.